Okay, the video on p-n junctions. Now a p-n junction is just a semiconductor diode. And as the first name suggests, a p-n junction, we take a p and an n-type semiconductor and we just connect the two together. Now what happens then is quite interesting. So there we go, connect the p-type to the n-type. What happens is the n-type is electrically neutral, but there are electrons as majority charge carriers. The p-type is electrically neutral, but there are holes as majority charge carriers. So some of the electrons in the n-type pass over into the p-type. And as a result, in the interface that joins the two of those sections together, in other words, just either side of that central line, there'll be no charge carriers. So it behaves as an insulator. So you'll have a p-type on one side, an n-type on the other, and then you'll have no net charge carriers in the middle. So both pieces are electrically neutral. So it says it there, the electrons travel over, and as a result then what we get is a region of space where there's no free charge carriers, and this is called the depletion layer. And that's a definition at the end of that slide. Now, remember that the n-type was electrically neutral and the p-type was electrically neutral. But now the n-type has lost electrons as they've been transferred over. So the right-hand side of that depletion layer becomes positively charged because it's missing electrons. The left-hand side of the depletion layer has received electrons. So while the p-type was neutral, that boxed off area in the middle on the left-hand side of it now has got a net negative charge. Now that means there's a tiny, tiny voltage across the depletion layer, and we call that voltage the junction voltage. And basically what it is it's the required voltage that you need to exert or push onto the p-n junction for charge carriers to flow through it. Okay, so the depletion layer is an insulating layer formed at the interface between a p and an n-type semiconductor. It's a definition, you need to learn it off. The junction voltage is the voltage that needs to be applied to allow charge carriers to freely flow across the depletion layer. You need to know that. It's about 0.6 or 0.2 for germanium and silicon respectively.